I wanted to do a video of John Singleton, a video about John Singleton's appreciation of John Singleton's work as a filmmaker. John filmmaker is a very famous director. He passed away 2 years ago, but he directed a lot of great movies in the past 30 years. He made Boys in the Hood. He made Baby Boy. He made Poetic Justice, Higher Learning, Too Fast, Too Furious, Four Brothers. And he was a producer on, let's see, uh, he was a producer on Hustle and Flow and a number of other things. And he was directed a couple episodes of the show Empire and some other TV shows. Um, I really like John Singleton as a director. Um, Boys in the Hood and Baby Boy are my favorite of his work, though. I'm gonna be honest. I saw the beginning of Higher Learning and Poetic Justice, but I couldn't really get into them. The Higher Learning was on Netflix one time. I think Poetic Justice was on Netflix one time, or maybe it was on like BET or something. Both Poetic Justice and Higher Learning, I thought I watched the first 20-25 minutes, and I felt like it wasn't as good as his other work. So it just felt like subpar. Not subpar. I know people like Poetic Justice and Higher Learning. I don't think that's his best work. Um, maybe I'm missing the. Maybe I'm not reading the room, but maybe I probably just don't understand it because my college experience, Higher Learning was about college, and my college experience is very different than other people's college experience. So I think um, I didn't really relate to what he was saying, but like he was talking about his experience in college and higher learning. I didn't really relate to what he was saying, but I'm sure there are people who did relate to what he was saying. Anyways, Poetic Justice was Janet Jackson and Tupac. That was I love both those artists. I just don't. I didn't think the script was there. I like them both more as musicians, Janet and Tupac, more than the actual script. Anyways, so let's focus on the two movies I wouldn't say I'm obsessed about, but I'm almost obsessed about. Is what's it called? Boys in the Hood and Baby Boy. Uh, Boys in the Hood was a movie about growing up and coming of age in uh, South Central LA in the early '90s, late '80s, which I think John Singleton grew up in that area, and so he could talk about the the struggle of that living in that area um, at that time, which was the probably an interesting place to live in, but a little bit chaotic maybe. But there's a lot of good people there. Um, I, if I remember correctly, I think I almost yeah I think I like Boys in the Hood better than Menace to Society. But Menace to Society was like a copycat movie they made like 2 years after this. It wasn't John Singleton, but I always think of Menace to Society and Boys in the Hood. Uh, I always think of those two movies because I've always thought they were kind of similar, but just growing up in the neighborhood. Um, but um, I always forget which one I like more. I'm just talking about this because to be honest, the only reason I'm talking about this is because I saw FD Signifier, the YouTuber. He did a review of the movie Baby Boy. That's why I was just thinking about John Singleton. So I was watching John Singleton interviews on YouTube. So I was just thinking about him recently, and he passed away 2 years ago. So talented. Um, and he was like switching to television like in the 2010s because Hollywood wouldn't make the type of movies that he wanted to make. He makes dramas. I like dramas. That's my favorite genre to watch. John Singleton almost always made dramas, and he was very good at directing, writing, producing dramas. Um, so he kind of switched to TV in the last 9 years of his career, mostly. So I forgot how he passed away, but I forgot to look that up before this video. But whatever, I'm sure you can look it up if you're wondering how he passed away. I don't know. But so Boys in the Hood is an amazing movie about growing up in South Central LA. I don't obviously I don't have that experience growing up as a teenager, but I'm glad he made it because I'm glad he so that I could learn about what that experience. I guess that was his experience growing up in that area, and I guess I appreciate him sharing his experience. That movie wasn't a biography or anything. It was just he knew people like that in those situations, and he knew a lot of people living life that way. I'm sure there were connections he made. There were, you know, parts of it that were his story, parts of it that he took from other people. He told other people's story for part of Boys in the Hood, and he told his story for part of Boys in the Hood. And I do relate to a lot of things about being a teenager and in that movie. I do relate to a lot of those facets of life, but some I don't relate to as much. But that's what cinema is supposed to do. You're supposed to learn things about other people in cinema, and you're supposed to, or or TV show either. Also, you're supposed to learn things about other people that you never thought of before. That's what I like about media the best is learning about other people. Um, so then I want to talk about Baby Boy, which Baby Boy is probably my favorite of his movies. Even though FT Signifier, the YouTuber, said there's almost a little bit of backlash to Baby Boy because it might be a little bit offensive to some people. It might be a little bit regressive or whatever. I think I think it. I don't think it's regressive, and I relate more to the character Baby Boy than almost and very few other characters I've seen in movies. I've relate to the character Baby Boy because it's played by Tyrese, the guy who's in Fast and Furious movies. And it's not that I know it's not about me, but it's not about me, but it's I still relate to a lot of the things in that movie. How he's like stuck in the womb. He's 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 like stuck in this level of immaturity that's almost unreal. How he could be living with his parents, in a as like a early 20 something. He's like a 20 something year old man living with his parents. But, I live in an apartment with roommates, but my mom pays my bills. Mostly, I have a part time job. I pay half my bills. My mom pays half my bills. Um, so I relate to Baby Boy because I'm so immature. I feel like I'm still stuck in the womb, and I feel so incredibly immature. Um, and I haven't actually watched the movie in a number of years. I probably watched Baby Boy probably 4 or 5 times in my life. I probably watched Boys in the Hood probably about 4 or 5 times in my life. And then also watched Empire. Empire was another show he directed. I don't know how much of Empire he directed. I know he directed some of Empire, but you could see his talent on full effect on Empire. It's a really good show, Empire. But I only watched like the first season of Empire. I didn't watch the whole thing because you know how TV shows go. They drone on and on and on. And later seasons of TV shows are more about the relationships and less about the higher concepts that put the first season together. So I only watched like the first season of Empire, which I really liked, but I couldn't keep watching it because it just TV shows turn into soap operas past a certain point. I know that show was always a soap opera, but to me, every TV show turns into a soap opera after season one. I can never watch after season one of most shows because they're just soap operas. Um, Not that there's anything wrong with soap operas. I just think that characters start to drone on and on about nonsense. But so the so Baby Boy, yeah, I that's my favorite of of John Singleton's movies. Um, how he really had to hustle to make a living for himself, and I just he uses his sex appeal to do that. I don't have sex appeal, so I wouldn't know. Though I kind of was using my sex appeal when I was working customer service to not sex appeal, but I was trying to use a base level of charisma to win over customers and get coworkers to like me, and it it's not sex appeal, but it's I don't have what Tyrese has, so I'm not comparing myself to Tyrese. I don't look anything like Tyrese. However, uh, you want to try to be like Tyrese, I guess, is the concept of Baby Boy. Like he tries really hard, and he puts in the effort. He puts in the work, and he puts in the effort. He might seem like he's immature, but he puts in the work. He puts in the work to achieve a better life. Eventually, he does move out, and I forgot. I think he lives with his girlfriend or something, but and then I forgot if he stops cheating on his girlfriend by the end of the movie, or no, I think he just keeps cheating on him, cheating on a girlfriend, cheating on his girlfriend. Um, and there's a lot of um, anxiety in this world, and people have problems. And I always looked at that movie, Baby Boy, thinking, oh, I don't want to get somebody pregnant at a young age. And I remember thinking about that. I don't want to get somebody pregnant at a young age because I don't want to take care of some babies when I'm in my 20s. And I succeeded in that goal. I didn't take care of babies in my 20s. However, now I feel like a fraud because I feel like almost like a fool because I didn't find that intimate relationship that I wanted in my 20s because I was so afraid of having babies. I was so afraid of being a father that I didn't. So I thought of Baby Boy and I thought, movies like that or why I didn't want to have sex when I was younger is because I didn't want to be a father. And I achieved my goal in not doing that when I was younger, but now it's like, I almost regret not having sex when I was younger. But then again, I don't mind being asexual because you get other abilities when you're asexual that I'm not going to tell you about. But there's benefits. There's benefits to being asexual. Like your sensitivity increases a lot, and you can use your sensitivity. You can monetize it. You can do things with your sensitivity that other people might not be able to do. I'm not going to tell you everything, but stuff like telepathy and stuff. But oh, just superpowers, man. I'm just a wizard, man. I'm just a superpowered wizard. Anyways, so I like how movies like Baby Boy are like a morality tale about why you have to be careful in your life a lot of times. But a lot of ways, there's another side of the equation. Like you could end up a lot worse than having to raise two children. You could live in a worse situation than that, especially if you make a lot of mistakes. If you make a lot of mistakes, a lot of times I treated people poorly because in my life because I wasn't looking for sex when I was younger, so I treated people like with not the respect they deserved because I was so hesitant to put myself out there in that situation. Otherwise, I should have treated people better. So, Baby Boy is I guess FD Signifier on YouTube says Baby Boy is controversial because it might paint some people in a bad light. I get that. I get how that movie could paint some people uh, poorly. I I don't I don't think that's I don't think that's a reason. I don't agree with that criticism because I think there's just as many immature white people. There's just as many immature people of all ethnicities. Immature men is not something that's unique to any one person. Immaturity among men is a universal issue. I'm very immature, and in some ways, I like being immature. I don't, in some ways, I don't want to trade my immaturity to being some cranky old man. I don't want to be a cranky old man. I don't mind being immature. And, you know, it's like the Buddhist principle of having a beginner's mind. I don't mind not knowing what I'm doing and knowing that I don't know what I'm doing. And it's like having the Buddhist principle of having a beginner's mind. And I know I'm immature. I know I'm immature. And that's the thing about baby boy is I think it's baby boy is a universal idea, that the idea that you could be stuck in this permanent place of immaturity. And maybe you shouldn't think about it. Maybe you should think about getting out of it. Just personally, I don't mind being immature. Do I try to change that about me? Yeah, I try to change it but I don't really mind it. It's not like it really upsets me. Oh, I'm so immature. Oh, if I was only different. Well, I don't know. So there's something about that youthful ignorance that it's not something you necessarily want to throw away. There's benefits of making poor decisions. There's benefits of that. Not, a lot of successful people, with success comes responsibility. A lot of people who are in successful relationships right now have to take care of a bunch of kids, and I don't have that level of responsibility. I might not have love. I might not have affection from a significant other, but I still get to feel affection towards other people. I might not have a full-time job, but I'm striving to be better. I don't think it's everyone's job in life to find a full-time job. I have people ragging on me on Facebook for like, what did one guy say on Facebook? He was talking about me. He didn't say me in name, but he said, he said, oh, some people get high on their own supply, and I knew he was talking about me, but I'm not talking about drugs. I'm talking about getting high on your own supply. He was talking about I don't know. He was talking about something else, but it's not drugs. But um, in a lot of ways, I feel crappy because I waste a lot of opportunities, and I treat life like it's um, almost like it. I treat life like it's disposable, and I feel bad about that. I do, and I waste a lot of opportunities I've been given, and I could fall a lot further than I already have. I could fall so much further. I could be homeless very, very soon. I could be homeless tomorrow if my mom decides you're homeless. And I'll end up just like my dad and be homeless for 30 years or whatever, for 20, 21 years, 22 years. I could be homeless tomorrow, and if my mom decides that that's my destiny, I'm okay with that because she doesn't have to take care of me. My mom doesn't have to take care of me. She could take care of herself first. But my mom is like the giving tree in the sense that she cares more about me than she cares about herself, and she'd be willing to, even though she's retired, she's willing to get another job in her 60s, to take care of me. And that's why I'm immature beyond comprehension, because I would waste my mom's golden years of my mom has some money in retirement, but she doesn't have that much money. She has enough to take care of me, but I'm still lower class. Don't get it twisted. I don't have a car. I live in a weird neighborhood. It's a really weird neighborhood I live in, but I'm still in the lower class, even though she can pay half my bills. I'm still in the lower class, so I've wasted the opportunities that she's worked really hard to give me. I feel really mature. I feel bad about it, But I know there's other people who have the same problems I do, have the same problems finding work, same problems treating other people poorly, I guess. I know there's other people out there like me who just have no idea what they're doing. Absolutely no idea. And Baby Boy reminds me that not everyone has it figured out. And it's a really complicated world. And so I think it's wrong for FD Signifier to imply that there should be some controversy among the idea of Baby Boy. Well, I don't think it's a controversial movie that some guys are immature. I don't think that's a controversial idea. There's always been immature guys. There's always been guys who can't figure it out, who end up homeless, who end up in complete despair because they've never understood life to a sufficient degree. I feel like that to a T. I really identify with that character more than most characters in any movie I've ever seen. And so maybe the movie's not about me, maybe the movie's about somebody else, but I still identify with the character, and I really appreciate the work John Singleton did in his career. I really appreciate it. I can't even describe how much I appreciate the work that John Singleton did in his career. Because he also produced Hustle and Flow. I didn't really watch Hustle and Flow, but I walked through my room. My mom got off Netflix when Netflix was still delivering DVDs by mail. I walked through the room. I watched her watch Hustle and Flow. But anyways, different story. So that's that. I just wanted to mention that movie really quick. Let me know in the comments below what you think about John Singleton as a director. Do you like John Singleton as a director? Have you watched his movies? Let me know in the comments. Please subscribe to this channel to be part of the community. And please like this video. It really helps out the channel a lot. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.